Smiles, everyone, and welcome. Colleen here. So today I'm going to do a flip through of the bee journal. It's all done now. So I'm quite excited that it's finished and I think it looks marvelous. So we're just going to flip through it together. So the first thing, I didn't do this on camera. It's just a simple closure that I had done with some really silky material here, and I just thought it looked really nice across the journal itself. It's a simple closure, but what I did do is I added this nice big bee chime that I thought was beautiful. So I just added that to the ribbon, and then I just tied it on the side. So there we go. So it opens like that. And if you don't want to use that, it can be set completely aside and used in another way. Because this journal is could have went without a closure. It's not super thick, and that's what I was going for. So this here in the front is got a pocket. So inside the pocket, we've got this little tag that can be written on. And then on the back of the journal, we had added these bees here, which I thought was a sweet little touch to it. And then we open it up, and here is where I put one of those mixed media tags that we did together. So in this front pocket. So I just did some different coloring on the back, which I thought looked really good and easy to still write on. So that goes there. And of course we had put this is a fabric pocket. Lots of room to put more stuff in it if you so wish, with the flower trim. And then we have this beautiful image here. And over here, we made this into a pocket, and I had put this tag in. I just backed it so you could write on it, and it's a verse about the sunflower. And it is a really, I won't read it out because there's a lot to it, but it's different quotes from different people throughout history. And that is on there. And I just thought it fits so nicely in this pocket. Then we used the mulberry paper. And it is, you can still write on it. And then we put this pocket in. And then this here, be happy. And I thought that was a cute right there. And basically, it's an envelope that opens up, and you can put whatever you want in it. The recipient can. I just left it without anything in it. And they can put special little mementos in it. And then I just slid it into this pocket. I thought it looked really cute there. And then over here, we did the stenciling. And then we added a bee here on this page. This journal has lots and lots of journaling spots. And then over here we have the flower, and then these tiny frames is a die cut. And so I put Be Happy in the frame there. These will be throughout the book because I thought they were really cute in this book. And then this I had done ahead of time out of my stash, and it says sunshine. Of course, you can see that really well. And here is the other mixed media tag that we did together, and it fit perfectly in this bag. This one here, I had decided I was going to clip in, and I decided to use it in this pocket because I just really liked the image of the big bee coming out of the pocket. And then, of course, some more stenciling. And then this one is a tag that I had made, and it is an index card, actually, but that pink goes very well in this book. And then this is a stamp, of course, and I decorated it. And then this is a fabric pocket that came from my stash as well. And I added this small pocket, and then just this little envelope that just a note it says on it. And I put a bee on the back. And once again, I didn't put anything in it so that the recipient can put something special in there. And then journaling. And then on this side, we had added this. We had done this together, I think. But anyways, I slid this tag, nice large tag, in behind it. And it says honey right there. That word says honey. Perfect for this journal. And then, of course, we have this is the middle of the signature with the beautiful images. And I decided I put a charm, and there'll be a charm in every middle signature. Of all the signatures, the middle will have a little charm that comes out the bottom of the book. Okay, and then, of course, we had done this here framing together, and go where your heart takes you is what that says. Then I just did this little tag and tucked it up in there. And, of course, you can write on the back of the tag and underneath it and all those things. And more journaling. And then, again, this was in my stash already. So I actually I put the bees on it and the Be Happy. And then I did up this little side tuck with a cute little bee, just like on the back cover. And then again, the stenciling. And then I just added this framed bee over here, which I think looks really nice. Lots of journaling, more stenciling and stenciling. And then on this side, this was a die cut that I can't even remember where I got it from. And I just added it to the bottom of this page with, again, one of those little bees. And I love the color of it on this page. And then stenciling. Then we did another side tuck or side pocket. And I just added the journal. I decorated the whole thing. And these were pockets that I had a die cut that would cut the pockets out. So I just cut a few of those out. And that's what is throughout this book, is those types of pockets. Then we have another large tag with note and the beautiful image on it, some lace in the background, and I had embossed as well. And then it can still be journaled on the back. Lots of journaling you could do on the back of that. And yeah, I think this just turned out really cute, this tag. We have several large tags throughout this one. That mulberry paper, another framed bee. And then that's the end of the first signature. And then this beginning of the second. And this here was in my stash already. So I just added it to this book. And this is sewing pattern. And then just stamped on top. And then I thought this little tag, I just decorated it. The background was already done, and I thought it worked perfectly in here. So I just tucked it in there, but you can tuck two things in here. So I left the back, once again, for them to add whatever they would like in the back pocket, and more stenciling. And then this pocket, again, is the same pocket. And I just decorated it with a flower and a bee. And then this is a tag that I had done. And I think I was experimenting with some colors. And I had done this paper. And I just decided to make it into a tag. And then I seen it and thought, oh, this would go really nice in the bee journal. So I just continued to decorate it to put in this book. And then, of course, you've got the back to journal on. Some of that really nice colored paper. and stenciling on the back, another frame with a flower. And then this here is, is a pocket that is quite large. And I have made a video about how to make this. I might make another one. And anyways, you can journal inside, and then like you could put important, like if you have a ticket or something like that of a place you had went and you want to keep it, you could put photos in here. It's just got lots and lots of room for all those things that you want to save, right? So, and then it just does up like this. And it is made with 2 different papers. And it's just the way you organize the papers. It is not as difficult to make as you might think. And I just decorated it by zigzagging around it. So I just like the colors. I thought they went well in this book. And then this is another mixed media tag that I had done off camera, I believe. And yeah, it's just really, really pretty. And you can, of course, journal on the back. And here's another one where I was experimenting with different techniques of ink. I think this was ink, not paint. The other one had some paint. It was paint. But anyways, I decorated that because I liked the colors and it went very well in this journal. And then I just tucked it into this pocket that was in my stash. I added in. So that was that one. I thought those were really pretty. Okay, and journal, more stenciling. And then, of course, this little tuck. I think we did that together. And I can't remember if we did this tag or I did it later off camera. But decorated this tag. Then you can journal on the back. And I really like the beehive. That was a stamp that I had. So I wanted to incorporate that beehive in this journal. And then, of course, the middle, the beautiful images. And then we have the bee charm. These are all the same charms, yet they are slightly different metal. So the first one had silver. This is like a bronze. And then we have, that's a decoration. I didn't leave it as a tuck, just a decoration. Then our stencil, and then of course our journaling. And then one of the frames. And then this was also made and in my stash ready to go. I just made it with the book pages, the banners, and then I just decorated it. So it was just ready to go and easy peasy. Then I could decorate it. And then this was, another index card that I just decorated up for a tag. And this is the other side of that pocket. And then we again have a frame and a stenciled. And then we had this die cut that I chose to make into a side tuck. And it, again, was in my stash. And so I just used our wild honey, which we used out throughout this book. And I love that color in this book. Made it into a side tuck. And then this was a really pretty image. Excuse me. So I just put a couple of bees on it because it went with this book so well. And tucked that in there. And then, again, die cut. And I put a bee inside the frame on the mulberry paper, and I think it looks really nice. And then that's just the second signature. That's the last page. And then our third signature. So again, gorgeous image. This here is just, this is a decoration. I didn't make it a tuck. And then this side, I have this pocket that was made out of an envelope, a junk mail envelope. I made this pocket whenever I had made it. So I'm not with the sunflowers and stuff it would go really good in this book, and the color, of course. And so I put some bees on it, decorated it a bit, and then I made this tag that I tucked in the front. Aren't those beautiful bees? And then, of course, I put a button. This is a homemade button that I had made. And again, I think I want to do a video on how to make your own buttons if you so want to. And it was a lot of fun. And I really like how they turned out. So I used that as a tag topper, the button. And then this tag here, oh yes, the background tag was in my stash. None of the decorating was, so I decorated it because, again, I thought it went really well in this journal. So that's why, and that's nectar on it, which was perfect word for this journal. So I just tucked that in the back and stencil. And then this here was the inside of something that I die cutted. And so I actually took it out and made it into a pocket. So then I just decorated. I did some inking in the background with the colors that are throughout this book. And then I put this honeycomb on top, the black. And then the bee, of course. And then I put two tags in this one. Live in the moment. And there's a bee coming off there and a bee there. And then this one here too, which was the background tag was already done, and I decorated it with the bees. Used a little ribbon to top it off. And then that nice colored paper. And then this too was from a magazine or a gardening book. I can't remember which. And I just made it into this flip out. So lots of places to journal on here. And I thought the color, the yellow and such, worked really well in this particular journal. And then we have the stenciling. We have another little tuck here that I decorated a little bit, and this is all about buttercups and daisy flowers, and so I put that in there. And again, it's just writing about what it's. I never fee a young hand hold. I can't really read it because I don't have my glasses on right now. But anyways, it is really a nice. I don't know if you'd call it a poem, but a nice write-up about buttercups and daisies. And then this stamp here, I just thought with the fairy and the daffodils just was really cute on this page, so I added that. Then we have the framed bee stencil. And then this one here, I think we did decorate together, and I made it into a small pocket. I tucked this little booklet in here, and so you can journal throughout this booklet. And this here was made from a playing card. I believe, again, that if you go through my videos, I do have a video of how to make these playing cards, and it is actually a lot of fun. And you can make, this is just one playing card. I made a mini one, and then you could use two and make a larger little booklet. Anyway, so we have Be Happy on there, and then this tag here, the bees throughout the tag. And yeah, this was some sunflower images that I had, so I used those to decorate that tag. And then we have the middle of the signature with those two beautiful images, and then that's the last bee charm, and it's kind of a gold. And then this was I didn't make it into a tuck, it's a decoration and stencil, and the frame, Be Happy, and then this little tuck pocket. And this here is just a decoration, which went really nice on this page. And so I just made this tag, and of course it says Be Happy on it. I put a bee on it. These beautiful flowers in the background. I really like that tag. It turned out really well. This is tissue paper that I used to cover the tag with, and I had stamped it with these images of these flowers as well as the background of it that you can see in the gray. And then another flower, and it's a frame, and it's a decorative. It's not a tuck. And then this tag I just clipped with this yellow clip here, which the color is just perfect for this book. And it's just, I just decorated it with sunflowers and the bees and the bee happy. And then you just can turn it over and you have lots to journal. Like I said, most of the tags in here are quite large, and I did that on purpose. I wanted to do that. And then your stenciling, and then again another tuck, and it's just, I decorated this. This was a frame, so I added this image to the back. Added the bee happy, the little ticket, I guess I'll call it. So it just tucks in there. There's enough room that you could add a little something to that. And then the mulberry paper. And then this was a die cut that was sort of like a frame, kind of. But I don't, again, it must be in my die cuts. And I had die cut something else out. And at the time, this die cut it too. So I just used it in this book. And you just slide this out. We got a little bee on it. And you could journal something on the back there. And I think it looks really, really cute on this page. I did glue this down just at the edges to keep that down. But you could leave it open if you wanted. Okay, and then, of course, this beautiful image. And then we got the back pocket and these two gorgeous bee images. I did nothing to decorate these because they're perfect just the way they are. I added some beehive honeycomb on the back kind of image. And that is the end of the bee journal. So I really enjoyed this little series of making this bee journal. And I think it turned out so, so well. And I think I might actually use this, give this away as a Christmas present to someone special. So I want you all to have a lovely, lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help to grow this community. And don't forget the notification bell. And every time I put out a video, you'll know. So for now, have a crafty, crafty day, everybody. Bye for now.